Hello, welcome to pjgreystoke.com. This is diary entry number 2. Since my last diary entry, I've written a couple of short stories. So if my video editing is going right, the names of those stories will appear there or there. And if it's not, then it won't. One story is called In the Moment, and the other story is called Supply Teacher. I've also written a poem called Clay. Thank you very, very much for everybody who's read this and liked it and talked about it and shared it. And it's great. I love the response that it's received so far. If you haven't had a chance, please do have a look, have a read, see what you think. They won't be available on there for long because they're going to go into an anthology of short stories that I am going to sell. So they won't be available for free to read for much longer. But I would love to see what you think about them for now. What else has been happening? My novel, Professor Fidget and the Trouble with Time Travel, is still with the publisher. I haven't heard anything yet. I'm still waiting. But I'm very excited about that. And I'm still writing the sequel, which has the working title Professor Fidget Lost in the Wilderness. The other thing I'm doing is an experiment. I've invented a character. He's in my mind somewhere. I've given him a name. He's called Melek. And I don't know too much about him, basically. Now, as a writer, when I bring a character into a story, I like to know quite a lot about them, and I do that by asking myself questions. Who is this character? What do they like? What kind of family do they have? What's their past history? What will happen if I place them in certain situations? How will they react to that? Do they have a vulnerability? Is there something? There's a myriad of questions that I would ask. And answering those questions give me a full picture of what this character's like. It's kind of like what an actor does. If an actor's preparing for a role, then they will do that. They'll have people hot seat them, ask them questions, and then they will answer these questions in character to help identify themselves with that character and really understand what makes the character tick. Now, I've done this with Melek, where I've asked him questions, but I really want you to be able to ask this character questions too, and together we can build this character up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read you from my first post from Melek. Now the post is called Ramblings of an Outcast, and in Ramblings of an Outcast, Melek will talk to you. He'll answer questions that are posed to him. Now these questions may well just come from me, where I ask a question and then Melek will answer that question in character. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the first post, which in Melek's own words. At the end of this, please feel free to share it, to ask the character questions. Anything you ask, Melek will answer. So I invite you to ask anything at all, within reason, obviously, and Melek will answer that. So in a second, I'm going to pull up the post in front of me and I'm going to read from it, but I won't be PJ Greystoke anymore. I will be Melek. Eventually, I will turn back into PJ Greystoke and talk to you and sign off and say goodbye and I love you all. But until then, I will be Melek. So here we go. As Melek from Ramblings of an Outcast. This is PJ. No, it's not PJ Greystoke. This is Melek. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. My name? Melek. I am a creation of author PJ Greystoke, and I will star in my own novel. But until that day, PJ Greystoke will be asking me various questions, asking for my views and opinions on various topics and placing me in short situations to help him understand who I am. You, the reader, can comment and ask me questions too, and I will answer them honestly and fully. Together, we can build my personality and my life history. I believe that I am great. I've said it. It led to my author asking me, okay, so what is greatness? this was my answer. Do the great people in society think of themselves as great? Or is that left for the rest of us to do once they are dead? I mean, take Gandhi. At what point did he stop what he was doing, eating probably, and think, you know what? I'm sodding awesome. People are going to remember me forever. Don't get me wrong, you'd have no argument from me. He is without a shadow of a doubt one of the greatest men that ever walked this planet. And again, that's only my opinion. I'm sure the British general who massacred all those women in India around the same time wasn't a fan. Horses for courses. Maybe greatness is a measure of how much you inspire others. If that's true, was Adolf Hitler a great man? Some people may think so. Depends on where you live. But one man's hero can be another's nightmare. To the English, he was the stuff of nightmares. But I guess German children and people thought of Churchill the same. The former Prime Minister, not the insurance dog. Though he does scare me. What about children? Our future professors, teachers, inventors, scientists, architects, authors, musicians, world leaders. Children are great in the eyes of those who brought them into the world. So what happens over time to make them lose that sense that they can be anything they want to be? Who's to blame? Parents? Teachers? Peers? Media? Or is it a natural progression where they face the harsh reality of what life is and just let go of all their dreams and aspirations? And are those great people I spoke of earlier just the ones who slip through the net? So that was Melik talking there. And I am PJ Greystoke signing off. Thank you for reading my stories. Thank you for listening. I will have some stuff to sell in my bookshop very soon. It's very sparse at the moment. But please, if you have a chance, visit the site, read through the stories, comment. And as far as Melik goes and Ramblings of an Outcast, have a look, read it, ask the character some questions. I would love us to build this character together.